with our knees tucked into our chest. I like to start on the ground, kind of like we're rolling out of bed. Take our hands to the shins, just below the kneecaps. And maybe take a couple rocks, circles with the legs, whatever feels good in the body. Some real intuitive movement here. Doesn't have to be fancy, just little movements to get our body going. We stretched a lot into the hamstrings on Wednesday. I felt it a little bit, so you might have as well. We're going to continue that theme of stretching the backs of the legs today as we wake up this morning. So connect with that breath. And from those little rocks, those little intuitive movements, we're going to start to inhale, extend the right leg, reach the right heel towards the ceiling, right toes towards the right hip. That right hand can be behind the right leg, guiding it above the hip, that left hand on the left knee. And then we're going to switch. That right hand comes to the top of the right shin. Left leg extends, left heel straight up to the sky. Left toes pull towards the hip. And then tuck that left heel back down to the glute. So we're going to take a couple of those. Inhaling, extending the right leg. Exhaling, bringing it down. Inhaling, left, up. Exhaling, bringing it down. Take a couple more of these. Inhale, right heel. Really pull that right heel towards the ceiling. Pull those right toes towards the right hip. And exhale down. Inhale, left heel up. Po is demonstrating for you. The left heel down. We're going to add a little bit of movement here, additional, after a couple rounds of this. So continue to inhale, right leg up. Exhale it down. Inhale, left. Exhale down. The next time that left leg comes down, taking your time to get there, we're going to take those hands away and just take this motion with the abdomen, the hip flexor, and the legs activating through the feet. So we're going to inhale that right heel up, no hands. And instead of bringing that leg down first and then bringing the left leg up, we're going to switch right away. Tuck that right heel towards the right glute, really actively maybe point the toes to do so. So instead of reaching the heel towards the sky, we're pointing, or the heel towards the butt, we're reaching those toes towards the butt. Left heel up. And then we're going to switch. Right heel up. Pull the left foot towards the left glute. Feel the hip flexors, quads. Fire up. And then switch. Tucking into the glutes. So right leg up. Left leg tucks. Right leg down. Left leg up. This time, bring both feet up. And we're going to tuck both heels down towards the glute. So imagine squeezing a balloon between the heels and the butt. You're pulling really, really tight together. Then we're going to open those knees wide, butterfly them out. Keep the knees above the chest, but we're just going to open those knees, then bring them back together and lift those feet, heels straight up over the hips. Tuck those heels towards the butt, squeeze that balloon. Open the knees, butterfly them out. And take those knees together. Press the heels up. Toes towards the hips. Pull those heels towards the butt. Squeeze that balloon. Activate those hamstrings. Open those knees. Butterfly them out. And we're going to take one more of these. So reach those heels up. Really pull those toes down. Exhale. Bring the heels to the butt. Squeeze that balloon. Open the knees wide. And then knees back in towards the chest. We're going to bring the soles of the feet flat to the mat. You should feel something going on in the abdomen, the hip flexors. You should feel that movement, waking that area of the body up. So we're just gonna wag those knees left and right. The soles of the feet are flat to the mat. Getting a little release in that low back. Then bring those knees back towards the ceiling, press down through the feet. Lift those hips over just slightly to the left and drop those knees over to the right. So we're taking our spine out of alignment to bring it back in when we twist. That gaze can stay up towards the ceiling or can drop over to the left. Really depends on how tight we're feeling this morning. If it's really jarring to twist that head over to the left this early in our practice, don't take it. It's not necessary. We're gonna inhale that left knee up, then let the right knee follow, not putting too much pressure in the low back. Ground down under the feet, lift those hips up and over, bring them off to the right a little bit, taking them off center, and then let the knees drop over to the left, taking that spine back into alignment. Again, gaze can drop over to the right, but doesn't have to. Something that I brought to class on Wednesday was really feeling into the moment. Noticing all 5 senses to bring us into the present. Feeling what parts of the body are in contact with the mat, smell, sight, likely darkness if your eyes are closed, taste, and what you hear. Temperature is part of that feeling, and that one really helps me bring myself into the present. Something you can use on your mat or throughout the day, just to touch back in to the here and now. We're gonna lift that right knee up towards the sky, left knee follows. Press into those feet, bring those hips back towards center. We're gonna tuck those knees into the chest, circle them out. Again, intuitive movement here, rocking left and right. Then we're gonna take those hands behind the legs and we're gonna rock on the spine, coming all the way up to our glutes. So take a couple of these. As many feels good. We're gonna come all the way up and over, and we're gonna roll over into our table. So there's really no super graceful way to do that. But come into your table when you're ready there. So hands will come beneath the shoulders, knees beneath the hips. We're gonna extend this left leg back, tuck the left toes, press into the back of that left leg. Getting a nice stretch. Try not to dome through that upper chest or that stomach. Try to keep nice length from the hips to the shoulders, even though that leg is extended. Imagine a corset pulling the ribs together on the abdomen, the torso. As that corset gets tighter and tighter, those ribs are knitting closer and closer together. Dome through the shoulders, away from the mat, rather than letting them collapse. Staying strong. And then from here, we're gonna tuck that left knee up towards the left wrist. Kickstand that left leg out. Take that left hand ahead of that left shoulder and open up into a supported side plank. So that right foot seals down to the mat. Shoulders are stacked. Maybe you extend that right hand up overhead to get a nice stretch in the right side. Bulge those hips towards the ceiling maybe. Make sure that those shoulders aren't doming in front of the hips, between 2 walls here. Then we'll take that right hand back down, bring that left hand back to meet it right in front of that left knee. Bring the right knee down. Bring that left foot back behind us where it was before, extend the toes. And then we're gonna cross over, take a side body stretch on the other side. So this left foot crosses over the right, tuck the toes, press into the calf, and then gaze over the right shoulder, getting a stretch in the left side body. Inhaling and exhaling. Good. Then we're going to tuck that left knee into the back of the right. Bend those knees, bring the hips back towards the heels. And this one is kind of funky, but we're going to imagine smearing a wall behind us with our butt. A dry erase board, try to erase whatever's on that board with your butt. You should feel some stretches, depending on where you move in your body. Where it feels good, settle for a couple breaths. Find that sweet spot. Then we'll ripple back up. Weight in the hands equally. Kick that left foot back. Bring it back in line with the right. Tuck the toes. Press the hips back towards the heels. Press into the hands. And bring those hips back and up into our first down dog. Keep those knees really, really bent. Notice how I'm not forward on my hands here. I'm pressing those shoulders back. I'm bending those knees, and there's long, long length between my hands and my hips. Pat into the feet here. Pad the left heel down and then the right heel down. Bending the opposite leg to find lots of space here. We're waking up. We're not being hard on our bodies. We're being very gentle, working with them as they move into this day, not jolting them awake. Good. From here, we're going to float forward. Shoulders come over the hands, and then we're going to lower those knees, come back to our table. Keep that corset around the ribs, continuing to draw them together. Engaged abdomen here. We're going to take the right foot back this time. Tuck the right toes and stretch into the back of that right leg. Long length between the hips and the shoulders. Try not to cave those shoulders down. Keep the shoulders pressing away from the mat. Maybe even doming a little bit away from the mat. Notice the temperature of the room. Notice what you're feeling in the stretch, in contact with the mat. What are you hearing? And then we're going to tuck that right heel in, or that right knee in, just behind the right wrist. Kick those right toes, that right foot out to kickstand. Bring that right hand ahead just slightly from the shoulder. Kick that left foot straight out. Seal that left foot down. And take that left arm up towards the ceiling. Stack the shoulders. We're in between two walls, in front of us and behind us. Shoulders in line with hips, in line with foot. Maybe extend that left arm up overhead. Kick those hips towards the ceiling. Getting a stretch in that left side body. Then we'll bring that left hand down beneath the left shoulder. Take that right hand back in line with the left hand. Bring that left knee down. Right leg extends back. And then we're going to cross that right leg over the left, tuck the right toes, and gaze over that left shoulder, getting a side body stretch in the right side here. Remembering to breathe. Never letting that breath go. Cross that right foot back. Bring that right leg back in line with the left knee. Tuck the toes. Again, spread those hands wide. Press those hips back towards the heels as if you're coming to a child's pose. Press strong into the hands and bring those hips back and up. Long length through the hands to the hips. As we warm into our down dog, the hamstrings will open up. Maybe not in just a 30-minute practice, but normally over 60 minutes, we're able to really warm into our legs. And our knees might not be bent as much. but be gentle here. Good, so from here, we're gonna shift that gaze towards the front of the mat. We're gonna step that left foot behind the left wrist, right foot behind the right wrist. So we're a little wider than our typical forward fold. Maybe even take it a little wider than hip distance. Weight is gonna be in the toes, and we're gonna take our hands to the opposite elbows. Really imagine weights here, dragging those elbows down towards the mat, and a weight in the top of the head, dangling here. Swaying left and right. At first, we'll come to stillness in a little bit. Bend those knees so the abdomen and thighs connect. And feel gravity tracking the spine away from the hips. That traction should feel really good. It goes against the grain of how we normally hold ourselves throughout the day. And then we'll slowly come to stillness. Slow the sway, come to center. Just let your head and elbows dangle. No movement. Just lots of weight in the elbows and the head. We're gonna bend into the knees. Without removing the hands from the elbows, tuck the pelvis slightly. Engage the abdomen and roll up vertebrae by vertebrae. Chin is to the chest. We're gonna inhale those arms up overhead, elbows still connected. Shine that chest through, shoulders open wide, elbows to hands to opposite elbows still. Kick those hips back and kind of get a baby back bend here. Bend into those knees. See what you can do. You might not be able to go all the way overhead, but notice your edge, acknowledge it, and then once you meet it, once you rest there for a couple breaths, extend those arms, bend into the knees, and roll all the way down, back to our wide leg forward fold, our semi-wide leg forward fold. Bending into the knees, we're gonna take that a couple more times, so hands come to opposite elbows. Bend in to the knees, tuck the pelvis, and roll up vertebrae by vertebrae. Chin is the last to leave the chest. Elbows come up overhead. Shine that chest through, arch that back, the pelvis tucks back, countering how we started, bending into the knees. Gaze lifts up, and then release those elbows where you find your edge, and exhale back down to the mat. We're gonna take one more. Once you get into that forward fold, bend those knees. Take the hands to the opposite elbows. Tuck the pelvis to start your roll and roll all the way up. Once you get to the top, the chin leaves the chest, the elbows come up overhead. And shine that chest forward. Shoulders draw back. Bend those knees and kick that butt out like you're trying to kick a wall. Good, release those hands and come to stand at mountain. At the top of our mat, feet about hip width distance, Tadasana pose, mountain pose. Shoulders are drawing away from the ears. Now we're gonna walk through a setup of mountain. It's not just standing here. Spread wide through the toes, connect to the mat with the triangles of the feet underneath the pinky toe, the mound of the big toe, and the heel. Imagine those 3 points connecting and drawing the feet to the mat. From there, engage the quads up towards the hips. Internally rotate, so imagine your hands on the outsides of your thighs, internally rotating your legs inward. Tuck the pelvis slightly, engage the abdomen. Draw the shoulders right over the hips, and make sure that chin is parallel with the mat. Shoulders drawing away from the ears. Hands come by our sides, palms facing forward, fingers actively reaching for the floor. Simultaneously, as everything else is going on, there's a string connected to the crown of the head that's pulling us away from the mat, pulling our spine long towards the ceiling. However, our feet are grounded, they're rooted, they're not budging. So we're being pulled away from the mat, but those feet are connected. So we're just really, really long and tall here. I want you to close your eyes and I want you to notice the engagement here that's happening. This is a lot different than standing in line at the grocery store, a lot different than standing by the window and talking on the phone. It's very mindful, it's very engaged and active. From here, we're going to take a couple sun salutations to move into the rest of our day. Inhale, arms out, up, overhead, hands come to prayer, shoulders continue to draw away from the ears. Exhale, hands through heart center, elbows and hands draw forward, weight in the toes, come all the way down to our forward fold. Bend those knees, abdomen and thighs connect. Inhale, shoulders pull away from the hips, long line from the hips to the shoulders. Engage the abdomen, chest parallel with the floor, weight in the toes. Exhale, place those palms down, step the right, then the left, back to our plank. From plank, we're gonna lower knees, then we're gonna lower chest, chin, butt stays up. We kind of look like a zigzag on the mat. Elbows are tucked close to the sides. Take the tops of the feet down to the mat. Ripple through, come to baby cobra. Hands by the sides, elbows tucked in. Those tops of the feet and thighs are driving into the mat. Shoulders pulling together on the backside body. Lift those hands for just a moment. Let the abdomen, the back, the thighs do the work here. One more inhale. And exhale, hands come down, chest comes down. Press back through table. Tuck the toes. Press the hips back towards the heels and press them up and back to a down dog. Pat out those feet, stretch out the backs of the legs. Shift the gaze to the front of the mat. Step left to the just behind the left wrist, right just behind the right wrist. Forward to our forward fold. Bend those knees. This time, take those hands, shoot them back, parallel with the mat. Press into the feet, sweep those arms up and overhead. Hands in prayer, and exhale, hands to heart center. Close the eyes. Feel the energy that's building in the body. We're gonna take one more of those together. Inhale, sweep arms up overhead. Exhale, hands and elbows come together and forward, drawing down the center line of the body. Forward fold. Bend into the knees. Inhale, half lift. Weight is in the toes. Exhale, plant those palms. Step the left, then the right, back to our plank. Lower the knees. Chest, chin, elbows in close. Then bring the tops of the feet to the mat. Ripple through, come to our baby cobra. Shoulders are drawing down and back towards each other. Elbows close to the sides. Tops of the feet pressing down. Lift those hands. And exhale, all the way down. Press into the hands, onto the knees, tuck the toes. Spread those hands wide, press back and up to our down dog. Enjoy this down dog here, patting out the feet. From here, lift that left leg up behind us, three-legged dog. Open that left hip over to the left side. Scorpion tail that down dog. That left heel is squeezing to the left butt like we did at the beginning of class. Imagine popping a balloon between that left heel and that left butt. From there, draw that left knee forward, knee to nose, coming into our plank, and then step that left foot forward, gently between the hands, coming to our low lunge. Take a moment here with gravity to make sure that that right toe is right beneath the right heel, left ankle right beneath the left knee. Then when we're ready, when we're aligned, drop that right knee down. Inhale, Anjaneyasana, biceps to ears. Hands overhead, shoulders drawing away from the ears. Imagine that belt around your waist, drawing your hips forward and then down, gradually, rather than just drilling straight down. Feeling a nice stretch into that front right hip. Inhale, long leg through the fingertips, and exhale, frame that foot. Tuck the back toes. Press that heel away to lift the knee. Frame that foot, dome through the shoulders, pressing into the hands, and step that left foot back to meet the right in our plank. From here, ripple up and back, down dog. Bend those knees. And right away, we'll inhale that right leg up. Open that right leg into scorpion tail. That right heel is pulling for that right butt. We're trying to pop that balloon between the right heel and the right butt. From there, knee to nose, right knee towards the right forehead. Then draw that knee forward, right foot steps between the hands. Make sure that that left toe is right beneath the right, the left heel, right ankle, right beneath the right knee. Then we're gonna lower that left knee. Inhale, Anjaneyasana, biceps to ears. Fingertips reaching up, ears and shoulders melting away from each other. Inhale, exhale. And then release. Hands come to frame that front right foot. This time we're going to tuck the back toes, press the heel away, and kind of pad into that right leg. Finding a little bit of momentum, we're going to step that left foot forward to meet the right in our forward fold. From here, take those hands behind the heels, just a little bit, bend those knees if needed. We're going to guide those hips all the way down to the mat. And rock ourselves on our spine. Hands behind the legs. After a couple rocks, we're going to find ourselves in an easy seat, not coming all the way down to the mat, but just coming to our sits bones here. Maybe move some flesh out of the way, shoulders stacked right over the hips. We're going to inhale, arms up overhead. Hello, Po. Hands come to heart center in prayer. We're going to take a couple more of those sun breaths. Inhale, arms up overhead, and exhale, hands to heart center. Close those eyes, really feel this movement. Inhale, hands overhead, exhale, hands to heart center. Take that right hand, draw it right to the left knee, drop that left hand behind your hips and come over into a twist. Shoulders still stacked over the hips, very gentle twist. Stop. Come here. Come on. No. Good boy. All right, from here, we're going to twist around and take it to the other side. So that left hand comes to the right knee. That right hand comes just behind those hips. We're anchoring ourselves to twist, but those shoulders stay stacked. The twist isn't so deep that if we let our hands go, we wouldn't be able to stay in it. I want you to be doing 90% of the work with your abdomen, your obliques, 10% of the work with your hands. From here, come back through center. Hands come to the knees, and then we're going to walk those hands forward, coming into a seated forward fold. So walk those hands where those hips start to peel up off of the mat. That's where you want to stop. I don't want those hips coming up off the mat. Push them back down. Maybe don't go as deep in the forward fold as you think you should be or anything like that. Release the expectation and just do what you can in your body this morning. Lower the head. Let it hang between the arms. And then we'll slowly walk those hands in towards the legs. Restack those shoulders over the hips. Take one more. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Close those eyes. Feel those thumbs brush up against the heart center. Reminder that your practice is with you wherever you go. We'll take one final communal breath before we end practice this morning. Inhale through the nose and exhale out the mouth. Thank you so much for practicing with me. Namaste. I'm sorry Poe barked. I have him this morning, and it's so lovely, but he's very opinionated when people walk by. So anyway, thank you guys. I think I'm 1 minute over, so I apologize if you had to be somewhere. Poe, come on. He's like, look at me. Gotta be right in the center.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have such a good day, guys. Happy Friday. Bye.